Did you know that in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you can watch a couple of Pikachus get married? All you need to do is visit the Hano Grand Hotel and talk to this trainer. If you say yes, you then get to watch these two Pikachus walk down the aisle together, face each other, then the screen goes dark and they run off. You get a rose incense for watching this as a wedding favor, then you never see them again. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon have so many of these weird little side events and cutscenes that don't serve much of a purpose. In fact, there's over 150 events like this in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon alone, most of which you probably don't even know about, like this other event where you can have dinner with Olivia in Coney City. I'm sure someone out there would love for that to be a reality, and Olivia will even end up paying for the meal and give you 4 heart scales for eating with her. That's enough about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for now, so let's get a quick word from our sponsors for today's video, Opera GX. Opera GX is a great browser for use on desktop and mobile, especially if you're a gamer. The GX corner at the home screen even shows you information about upcoming game releases, which makes it feel a lot like an old gaming magazine. It'll show a few screenshots of each game and even a link to pre-order each game if you want. It also shows what games are currently free on every platform, and nobody ever wants to miss out on free games. If you want to customize your experience a bit more, we have GX mods, and to keep up with the retro aesthetic, here's the GX Boy mod, which can be accessed from the mod store located on the left-hand sidebar. This will change the background and add a few sounds when you open a new tab, or when you type, to match the charm of the Game Boy. You might think that switching browsers is a hassle, but nope, it's not. In Opera GX, all you have to do is click the settings on the left-hand sidebar, scroll down to synchronization, and then click import bookmarks and settings to import whichever settings you want from your previous browser. Ditch your old boring browsers today and download Opera GX with my link in the description. Thanks again to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Back to these weird secret side events. You know how in the original Red and Blue games you couldn't get any Pokemon eggs? They remedied this in the remakes Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, where in the post game you have access to a daycare center to breed eggs. But did you know that there's also this random rich guy in the water labyrinth near 5 Island on the Serebii Islands that gives you a Togepi egg? I didn't even know about this egg until recently. In fact, most of the stuff in this video that I'm talking about I didn't even know until this year. So if someone out there knows all of the facts in this video before watching this video, I will be quite surprised. Either way, if you know all of these facts or not, you should totally subscribe. As for this Togepi egg, it's a cool little way to get Togepi, but you get it so late in the game that you can't even use Togepi while playing through the actual game. Random gift Pokemon like this are my favorite, like how in the Battle Resort of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you could find a couple where one of them was part of Team Magma and the other was part of Team Aqua. They will give you a Camerupt and a Sharpedo that they raise while they are with their respective teams. Although since this is also in the post game, you can't really do much with these Pokemon outside of using them to fill your Pokedex if you haven't caught them already. While that might seem a little out of place and random, nothing is more out of place than Crasher Wake. Well, he's not really out of place in the Sinnoh region, but he randomly appears in Heart Gold and Soul Silver and gives you a mask of a Sinnoh starter Pokemon in the Celadon City department store. He also appears on Route 47 right before the Safari Zone, but you probably knew about that one already. But did you know that Crasher Wake also appears in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2? In a part of Route 18 that you don't even have to go to, you can find Crasher Wake just standing there and staring out into the water. He's singing a song about himself, and after he notices you, he'll ask, "Do you know what the wake is singing?" which has to be a reference to the rock, and ask you if you know about his gym in the Sinnoh region. He then reveals that although his backstory says how he was raised abroad and then came to Sinnoh at an older age, he was actually born and raised in Sinnoh. He then runs off and never returns here. I don't even know why he was even here in the first place. That's not the only weird event in Unova though, as in Black and White 1, even though the main game only features the new Unovan Pokemon, in the post game there is a Magikarp salesman on the Marvelous Bridge. Now, if you've been on this channel for a while, you will know that I am a big advocate for the Magikarp salesman, and the one in Unova is even guaranteed to have perfect speed IVs when you buy it, to make it even more worth it than it already is. Pokemon X and Y have a lot of these weird events too, some of which are well known like the Ghost Girl, but there is another weird event involving a ghost. On Thursdays, you have a chance of finding Banette hiding in the trash cans of the Pokemon Village. I don't know why they chose Banette for this and not Garbodor or Muck or something that would belong in the trash, but this is the only way to catch Banette in Pokemon X and Y, even though it also received a Mega Evolution in the same games. Now maybe if Banette is one of your favorite Pokemon and you caught it back in X and Y, you would know about that one. And maybe if you love ribbons, you'd know about the Shock Ribbon. The Shock Ribbon is a ribbon for recalling a thrilling event that made life more exciting. Now I have no idea what that really means, but in Pokemon Platinum, you can get this ribbon from Julia in Sunny Shore City, but only on Tuesdays. She actually gives out a different ribbon on every single day of the week if you didn't know. And now that we're getting into these daily events, things get a bit more weird. One of the more specific examples of this comes in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. After collecting all 16 gym badges in Johto and Kanto, you can see Erica in front of the fountain on Sundays between 2 PM and 4:59 PM in Celadon City. She doesn't battle you or give you anything, but she lets you register her in her Pokegear. Also in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, as well as Gold, Silver, and Crystal version, we have the weak siblings, 7 of them to be exact, and every day they will give you a different item, and in Heart Gold and Soul Silver they can also give you a special ribbon. They appear in various areas throughout the Johto region and give out some decent items, like Monica on Route 40 gives you a Sharpeak on Mondays, or Sunny on Route 37 who gives you a magnet on Sundays. That's enough about days of the week for now. Let's take a break and talk about starter Pokemon, something that everybody loves. Prior to being able to trade online, obtaining some of these starter Pokemon was quite a hassle if you wanted to complete your Pokedex, especially when it comes to obtaining the Generation 2 starters during the Generation 3 era. Sure, you could have just played Pokemon Coliseum and transfer over one of the Johto starters into Ruby and Sapphire if you happen to have one of those fancy cables that nobody ever has, but in Emerald version, upon completing the Hoenn Pokedex, you can talk to the professor and get your choice of one of the 3 Johto starter Pokemon at level 5. Heart Gold and Soul Silver take this a step further, as after defeating Red, you can talk to Professor Oak and receive a Kanto starter Pokemon of your choice also at level 5. Then after doing that, you can also meet Steven in the Silphco, who will give you your choice of a Hoenn starter Pokemon. Compared to getting a Generation 2 starter Pokemon in a Generation 3 game, these aren't as hard to obtain, especially with Pal Park, but it's a nice bonus reward for beating one of the hardest trainers in all of Pokemon. This next one you have to go quite out of your way to do, but it's also in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which is a popular game for this video. After defeating Claire, if you go to the Dragon's Den and talk to the Elders, then leave by using the Escape Robe or the Dig TM, you will bypass the cutscene where Claire stops you and gives you the Dragon Breath TM. If you do this, she will later appear in her gym, and if you talk to her, she will give you the TM, but this time her text will be a bit different, and instead of apologizing to you and giving you the TM like she would in the Dragon's Den, she will note how you made her hold on to the TM and kept her waiting until you came back to her gym to get it. While you did have to go quite out of your way to do that last one, this next one requires you to have an extra piece of hardware just to see some special events. In Moss Deep City, you might have noticed this locked secret door in the old man's house in Ruby and Sapphire. This door spawned many urban legends back in the day, from this door hiding a legendary Pokemon, to this door leading to a spaceship to take you to outer space to catch Deoxys, which wouldn't make a lot of sense because the Space Center is right around the corner. But in order to actually open this door, you need the e-reader, which was a device for the Game Boy Advance that had some cards you could then scan to unlock a few things in certain games. In the case of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, you could connect up your copy of Ruby and Sapphire to another Game Boy Advance with the e-reader, go to the mystery gift option, and scan the e-reader card on the other Game Boy, then later go through the door in Moss Deep City to battle a special trainer that correlates to the card you scanned. This is incredibly tedious and convoluted to set up, and yes, I went through the trouble of doing it just to crudely record this video, but this was still a nice cool little bonus feature, and some of these battles would even give you some special items like special berries that you can't even obtain elsewhere. Pokemon has had a lot of these weird, random, secret events or missions in Pokemon games, and if you know of any other more that we missed in this video, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, have a great rest of your day, and bye bye.